All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. We will be doing our weed sector review, starting in the fireplace like we've been doing, giving you some thoughts and opinions about the overall market and just kind of the latest movings in the sector. From there, we will get into the technicals of tilray, CGC, SNDL, and HITI. I might throw in ACB in there. I actually don't know what that one looks like. That one slipped off my radar. Couple just quick thoughts, right? The fact that SNDL is standing out is a little bit interesting, and I'm seeing all the comments that earnings are coming up in the next coming days. You know my thoughts on earnings if you've been here before. If you haven't, believe me, I'm going to say the exact same thing I always say. But yeah, SNDL is clearly the outlier. I think aside from that, yesterday seemed really promising. And I mean, you can see it right here. We actually wicked above a resistance line, right? And you know, I'll get into all the technicals shortly, right? But yesterday looked really good. It ended a little 50-50, and today was not the follow through I was really hoping for. So I think that's kind of the underlying message across the other ones, all right? But like I said, I will give you more on my thoughts and opinions shortly. But before we go any further, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here and giving me your time is super appreciated. All right, so let's take a quick moment. Let's come into the fireplace. This is where I'm giving you very much opinion-based thoughts. Okay, there's not a lot of facts, there's not a lot of data. It's just mixes of what I've seen in the past, what I've seen recently, and this and that. Okay, so we'll start there, and then I'll take us into the overall indices before we get into the technicals. Okay, so we okay, here, this is where I want to start with. So the reschedulization news. I am actually still a little bit at a loss of what is real and what isn't. There are a number of sources that are saying it's already happened. There are a number of sources that are saying it still has not happened. I am not sure if we're waiting for a single signature. I'm not sure if it's literally already happened and it's old news, right? So truth be told, I'm a little I'm not 1,000% on all the facts, okay? That statement aside, okay, I I was a fundamental trader when I started, right? Like it's not like my parents were these baller stock traders and they gave me my stacks and lo and behold, the lines have always meant something to me, right? Like there was a very significant portion of my trading career when I had absolutely no idea what moving averages were, how to use the MACD RSI and all that extra, right? Moments like this, and I'm gonna go into the this, right? But moments like this really remind me of why I went from fundamental to technical. I'm gonna put a video right here at 3:45. This is just like my history as a trader, and it kind of goes a little deeper into that. But there are so many stocks on so many different sectors that have these moments where you get the headline you've been waiting for. You get the headline that you bought maybe 3 years ago for, 4 years ago, maybe 10 years ago for, right? It finally happens and then nothing comes from it. Right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not here pretending that this DEA reschedulization is the biggest news that can ever happen, right? Obviously, there's still some better banking things that can happen. There's still some better like rules and tax things that can happen for both the companies and the customers. There's just straight legalization that's not even here yet on the federal level, right? So there are way better headlines that we are all still waiting for, right? But this arguably is one of the big ones, right? Like if we were gonna make a Mount Rushmore of like critical weed moments from like, never back in the days to today, right? Like reschedulizing on a federal level, that's a Mount Rushmore moment right there, right? And for us to just see one good day and then sustained down from there, man, that's just frustrating, right? And I will at least say I bit the bullet. I threw away so much profit on a single stock, but yeah, it was an easy reason to eject, and yeah, I'm just kind of waiting again to get back, and I'll get to those thoughts and what needs to happen, right? But it just like I don't even know how to put the words there, right? But this moment is why I feel I can be a lot more unbiased about any random ticker, right? Like, as much as I would love these stocks to explode, I'm here letting these lines do their thing. So that's just kind of a silly little rant about just that, okay? I want to continually stress that I have not changed my thoughts on the importance of this reschedulization, right? Though we didn't see the uptrend materialize, look, this is still a big thing. And hey, maybe we're going to get like a clarification headline or something. I have no idea. Or maybe we'll get the first, like, hey, because it happened, this happened headline, right? Like, there's still ways for it to kind of play out and evolve, right? But yeah, the single moment didn't do it. But the importance of it is a Mount Rushmore moment. There should be different fundings that come from this, right? There should be different research that comes from this, and with research comes new FDA approvals. But like it is actually the start of the snowball rolling. And again, it's wildly disappointing that doesn't reflect the prices, right? From there, I saw one really dumb headline about Florida. It sounded like there was some sort of agreement about Florida. Listen, I don't care about any news on Florida until November. Okay, we need to see how the state votes. Once they vote, oh my goodness, we'll react accordingly, right? But believe me, we're going to get so many headlines that say, looks like Florida's finally going to do it. Looks like Florida's going to reject again. Look like Florida's about to do it. Look like Florida, like it's going to be this little ping pong game that really are nothing more than clickbaits that other companies are going to do, right? So for me, the big Florida news already hit. It's on the ballot. That's a win. Everything else in between now and the vote results is just fluff, all right? So I really don't care that there's going to be some negative campaign. We obviously assumed there was going to be a negative campaign already, right? So again, all of it is just fluff between here and then. So overall, I think that's kind of all I had. SNDL earnings is coming up. I am not sure if I've seen headlines for CGC earnings. Let me know if I've missed any, and obviously I'll make sure we put some big attention to that, right? But hey, I would not say SNDL is as important as TLRY, but I would love a good earnings in the sector to come, right? Because again, hopefully every little bit that makes us forget about that bad TLRY one is a good thing for the sector, right? Regardless if you have money in that stock or not. And sector strength is something we love. So I think that's kind of everything on the fireplace. Let's come into the not this yet. I want to come into the S&P 500. Let's come into the SPY. So first off, I was crazy wrong. I can't stress how wrong I was, right? I was very loud about the fact that I did not think we were going to get over the 8 and the 20 and the 50, the orange and the red line. Lo and behold, we are physically over the lines, right? There has been no confirmation, okay? Doji doesn't count. Doji doesn't count. That is a good candle. Doji doesn't count, right? So as pretty as this is and as easy as it is for me to admit that I was wrong about the S&P 500, right? Because SPY is going to look exactly like the S&P 500 itself. Same thing, right? We needed to confirm. So being over something and breaking something, though they might look kind of similar, they are very, very different, right? So I'm still watching the S&P 500. Obviously in the Discord, I've admitted a number of times that I was wrong. Xmas Holiday, my boy, he just crushed it with his thoughts, right? And the funny thing is he actually thinks that this is a fake out and is actually going to come back down. And in a lot of ways that would mirror this October moment, right? we did go down, we did go up, we did kind of bounce and then lose it, right? I thought it was going to be a straight loss. That was me being wrong, but a couple people, I actually even think TK on the MEM one, if I'm not mistaken, a repeat of last thought. He also called it out, right? So a couple people thought it was going to repeat. Obviously, I didn't and was wrong, but so far it's kind of setting up and doing that, right? So still keeping an eye on this. Still keeping an eye on confirmation. And again, if the S&P 500 lifts, that should be a good thing for weed. If it goes down, my assumption kind of is weed will follow. And then from there, we're going to need some individual sector headlines to save it, right? So, cool. I think this is a good break. So at 3:45, I put the video. At 10:45, we transition into Tilray. Lovely. So really quickly, please, if you can subscribe, if you can share this video, oh, it does wonders with these YouTube algorithms, all right? So I talked a little bit about it. I'm just briefly going to repeat myself. I am so disappointed that the DEA reschedulization was a single candle instead of a sustained up, okay? I can't stress that enough. That said, I am clearly that's a downtrend, right? Like that is not a good slope. We want it to go up and we call it uptrend. I like the fact that we've been holding the moving averages pretty well. Today wasn't fantastic because you can argue that we lost the 200 moving average today. To me, that's a doji. That is not a good enough candle to really call it. I don't like, though, that we did go under the 8, and I got to super zoom in. It looks like we're still over. Yeah, I see a little bit of black in between the blue and the red, and then if you look in the box over there, they're both 199, the day's close, and then the 100 moving average. So we're still over the 100, definitely under the 8 and the 200, which isn't great though. But overall, I'm seeing the moving averages hold this. And I think I'm kind of okay with it because, again, it actually wasn't that long ago that we lost all the moving averages from a bad earnings reaction, right? There's a part of me, and it was actually the headline of the day that I assumed was going to continue, right? But when this day happened, I actually commented bye-bye earnings on my thumbnail, right? To me, there's still a little bit of a, hey, look, we went from under them all to kind of holding them. Maybe that means that they still have offset. I'm not really 1,000% believer yet. And clearly, we never got back as high as it was before earnings made us drop and gap down, right? So I think if it was just a little bit higher and actually washed it out, maybe I'd be a little stronger with that. But I'm not quite giving up on the 200. I'm sad that we're under the 8, and the 20 is pretty far down. It looks like it's another, 10-cent drop, right? So not quite a 10%, about a 5% drop from here if it goes down there, right? But these two lines should be hard to lose, the 50 and the 100. Those are two very difficult individual lines, and they are very, very much on a penny away from each other, if not maybe even the exact same thing. Yeah, it's a couple pennies away, but to me, I'm still seeing this hold. I would say, yeah, look, I think but then again, at that point, it's just, look, this is kind of the emergency number. I would start getting a little scared of 1.9, but see, even then, at that, even if you start, because again, sorry, I'm like jumping around on my thoughts, right? When all 5 moving averages are this tight, you can literally go from the top to the bottom to the top to the bottom. It's like this tornado that throws you, right? So there's no real, like, I guess, yeah, these are still the lines as I'm looking at it. 185 is my oh no, and then 221 would pretty much be the money line to break. I think this is still the lines. Wow, I took a long time to just not look at these numbers. I apologize for that. I mentioned it a little bit yesterday. Earlier in the video. Yesterday was an interesting day. I want to go to the hourly. So look. Yesterday was the 6th, today is the 7th, right? You can see the 6th actually gaps up in the morning hour and even continues a little bit more during that second hour before it eventually makes its way on down and never recovers, right? that was really interesting, and really that gap up and go was kind of echoed across all of the sector for the moment, and then obviously kind of this as well. I'm not sure if I saw any big headlines yesterday. I know someone commented on YouTube, and I've been so behind on my replies. I do apologize, but what was I going to say? Yesterday looked interesting. I stressed that today would be a little more important to confirm, and so far it hasn't, right? So, dang. I feel like I rambled a bit on this one. If I did, I sincerely apologize. But the moral of the story is these are the lines that still matter. I'm still like 60-40 on did these two offset. And yeah, wow, I apologize if I rambled. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's come into CGC. And again, there are some commonalities with the Tilray chart that we just looked at, but I'm not liking this. I'm really not, right? And again, it's still not horrible technically because look, this is a uptrend stock that is still over the 8 and the 20, right? If you watch my videos, the 8 and the 20, they're like brothers and sisters. They're best friends, and if one slips, the other will catch it. On the flip side, if one loses it, the other one will reject it quickly, right? So they are friends on the up, they are friends on the down, right? I never like it when we're this high up and have to come all the way down to the 20, but yeah, technically, if you are all the way at 15 and you come all the way down to 8 to 9, that's a horrible loss that no one wants to look at, but that's actually still technically bullish on my stack here, right? So it's one of those things, and it's actually one big reason why I say I want to hold 50%. Once I lose about half of a big candle, I think the next thought becomes, oh my, we're about to lose the next half, and probably really quickly, right? So this one wasn't that quickly a drop. I'm glad we didn't like mirror this big bad one the next few days, but yeah, nonetheless, we've basically made our way from 15 to under 10 already, and that's a 33% drop. Just simple math right there, 555, right? I can't stress it enough. I'm going to say it once here, probably once again on the other ones. The magnitude of the DEA headline and a 33% drop after it is a big reason that I moved from fundamentals to technicals, right? Like it's so easy as I know you're an educated person, right? Like at the very minimum, you're trying to make yourself even better than you were yesterday by watching this and hopefully other videos and get other opinions, right? But believe me, I'm what I like to think is an educated person, and I know how good the news was. And for me to like go to bed and think to myself, oh, here we go, we're gonna lose 33% after that headline. Get out of here. That's not how it should work. And to me, this being the like colorful lines and all the little like dumb rules that I throw out here and there, right, kind of help put it in balance, okay? But listen, as long as we are over the 8 and the 20, it's bullish. So that's my death line. If we start to go below 9, we actually might come very quickly to 8. My kitty's at the door. I gotta let her in. Oh my gosh. Did you get brushed? Oh yeah, she looks like she got so brushed. Good. So yeah, I would be very worried to lose 9 because again, I think it could be a very quick drop to 8. From there, really, it might actually even be a quick drop all the way to 7 if you know, because you lose the 20, you're going to come to 50, right? That's kind of how it works. But for now, because look at this thing, that's beauty. For now, I need to assume that the 20 is going to hold, all right? There is a decent trend line I can probably draw right here, and it looks like we're actually still on the good side of the trend line. I don't draw them too much. I think it's, sorry. Oh my goodness. Good, my name's not anywhere there. I don't have to do silly edits. Let me put that there. Let me do this. Again, I don't draw these too often. You can see I barely even know how to use this thing. Trend line. Click here. What's happening? I have no idea. Sorry about that. Regardless, we're still on the good side of the trend line. We're still on the good side of the 20. I don't like any of these down here, right? It looks like the green line has slipped under the red. It has. This is pretty much flat, so I'm ignoring it, and then that's clearly bad volume. But stay over 9. We are bullish. That's the simple summary there. Let's come into SNDL. I apologize for getting to this one at the 20-minute mark. That was not my guess. Clearly, you could tell I had a good time before I started recording, all right? Very, very quickly, please, if you can subscribe, if you can share this video, I very much appreciate it, okay? Everything I'm looking at right now is beautiful, all right? That is for sure a fact. And believe me, the simple thing I could do as a YouTube dude that's trying to get the most views and subscriber is just stress and say, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good. Because this is, right? We're over this resistance. We're over all 5 moving averages. We have a positive MACD, green over red, green over red. 74 is a little high. It's not even at the 80 wall. And hey, that's not bad, but like good, 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 good. Any given stock, any given day, this would be a 5-minute love fest of SNDL. You know I like calling it Sandal with my heart and soul in love mode. Earnings will kill the best technical setups, okay? SNDL, very much like TLRY, can see this. TLRY was above all 5 moving averages, had a beautiful MACD, green over red in the positive, had a beautiful RSI that was going up, coming down, going up. It was ready. Look at that good, 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 good volume. All of a sudden things get a little hectic and bad, right? The exact same thing happened on the last one. Good, 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 good. We were over all the moving averages, positive MACD, very, very healthy RSI. Volume was nicely improving. Good, 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 good. Gap down, right? Believe me when I say this, SNDL, this is amazing. This is the outlier in this sector. I know it's really easy to think to yourself, someone knows something. I know it's really easy to think to yourself, oh yeah, for sure. If this is happening a couple days before, that means we're going to gap up because I just saw, Carvana do it. I just saw Palantir do it. That. Listen, it is as 50-50 if this thing was going completely down. I swear, okay? The tomorrow might be a good day still. This actually kind of says tomorrow should do well. I believe from the headline, from the comments that I saw, earnings is on Thursday the 9th. Let me know if that's wrong. If earnings are tomorrow, obviously, I no longer think tomorrow is a guaranteed go, right? So as long as tomorrow is not earnings, I would assume we're still going to go up a little bit. I don't know if we're going to run to the next movie, maybe. I think there's a decent shot. We actually can maybe do another 10%. Maybe we'll come to this like 266, 270. But I think there's a good shot that we can maybe do 275 tomorrow if there's no earnings. I could see this coming back to 245. Hopefully even, again, no earnings, assuming, right? If we have good earnings, we're coming to 350. If we have bad earnings, we're coming to 211. Where we are. Those are my numbers, all right? So it's actually these 4 right here. I think tomorrow on a good, normal, non-earnings day, it should go up to 275. Maybe it kind of cools at 245 going into the next day, assuming that the earnings are the next day, right? Good earnings will destroy a couple resistances and take us, maybe I should say 3 or 310. Maybe 310 is the number. I'll still stick with 350. Why not? I will. Otherwise, 211 is our come down, and arguably 181 might actually be our come down. All right. So, as much as I would love to do a 5-minute love fest, I think this 4-minute reality of the dangers of earnings is far the better use of your time. All right, listen, if you know how the last earnings went, let me know. If you know how the guidance on the last earnings went, let me know. Like, what were we expecting over the last 3 months to happen? Like, what's that dangling carrot that we want to see hit? And that's what I would be focusing on, all right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's come to high tide. I can't believe I'm already 25 minutes in. I do apologize, all right? So This one's a little on the interesting side here. Okay, I was getting my thoughts together. Let's start with, hey, if you can please share, if you can subscribe, it does wonders with the algorithms. Thank you, thank you. I normally, I like, not even normally, like every single video, my rule is I love it when you're over the 8 and the 20. I like it when the 8 is over the 20 and you're over both, okay? When this little inversion happens right here, it's kind of a technical no-no, all right? The easiest one that I remember, and I don't know why, but I remember this one like the back of my hand, all right? Mavis makes this beautiful run up. We have this same inversion, right? 8 was over the 20. All of a sudden we get this like little bubble, and then clearly you see what happens after, right? Look, you can see it. It happens again. We actually do get over it. Obviously it goes back under, but it's not like the point was, it's not like this impossibility. But when I see it this big after a good uptrend, there's a little bit of a scared behind it. That's a good uptrend, and that's a little bit of a big, like, 20 over 8 eye right there. I'm kind of calling it an eye, like it looks like a Godzilla eye, right? On the technical side, that does bother me a little bit. Now, we are actually over the 8 moving average, which is a good thing. And if this can continue, the line will clearly golden cross and continue up, right? I have just seen it where that little orange pesky line, that 20 little moving average, becomes this wall that keeps rejecting it even when it shouldn't. Like, we are a positive MACD. Obviously, red is still over green, but yeah, we're at least still positive, a very healthy 45. And hey, this is actually holding volume well. We have not dropped back to this 100K level. We're actually living in a 400, 500K or better world. That ain't that bad, right? Like, we're still holding the volume amounts. It's just clearly been more selling than buying, right? Like, there's no accumulating happening here. But I think more focused on this right here. And believe me when I say it, this must. Probably tomorrow, maybe. I'm willing to give it till Friday, but honestly, probably by tomorrow, we need to break 230. We realistically would probably need to get right here to 232. All right? 232, I think, is going to be the money line for me to believe. Otherwise, I'm worried this Godzilla eye is going to wake up, scare it, and make the candle go down and away, all right? So I've never called it a Godzilla eye before. I kind of like it right here. We'll see if I I keep that up, all right? There are no bad headlines really related to high tide, right? So I haven't seen, like, anything that says this thing deserves to be on this, like, downtrend right now, right? But yeah, I think the sector's in a little bit of a weirdness, right? So my best guess of why. But look, hey, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Oh, I appreciate you so much.